Hey everybody, Joe Malone here, coming to you live from Dallas Trading Floor. It is Friday, and the market's down a little bit today. There has been this. It looks like President Trump may have been diagnosed with the COVID thing. So that's kind of an interesting thing that's going on. I have a little bit of issue with my it seems like I have a little bit of issue with my audio. So hopefully I can get this thing changed out here. Let's see. Okay, good. There we go. And there. Okay. So hopefully we get this right. Um Wow. Okay. I have a little bit of an issue here. Sorry about that. I've got to get it back correct. So let's see if I can get this one off. I have a little bit of issue with my machine, so hopefully I can get this. I can get this taken care of here for the TikTok. Always issue with this. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah, let's see. Come on back. There we go. Going to live. There. Okay. Go live there. Sorry about that, folks. Had a little bit of a technical glitch on my TikTok. So hopefully this will. Okay, now I think we're live on all the platforms. Sorry about that. Didn't have everything synced correctly. So there you go. It's just it's one of those things. So hopefully there we go. Hopefully we're 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 good to go there. Basically, here's the deal. The market is moved lower, and it looks as if we are firming up to the 50-day moving average. So, kind of interesting. The reacting to the news on the COVID with the president. So that may be an issue going forward. We just don't know how that's going to work, but that may be an issue. So let's kind of get into it. And basically, we're still in a confirmed uptrend. So we want to sort of be moving out of cash, probably not as fast as I thought yesterday, but we definitely want to kind of move out into cash again because the market is in a confirmed uptrend. And that is indeed a very good thing. Hopefully, we've retested the lows. I'm going to show you the chart for the spider right here. Hopefully, there we go. Confirmed uptrend. So that is the spider. This is the market in general. It is basically moving very nicely to the 50-day line. So don't be too concerned about this sell-off. I think we're firming up on this line. So I'm just kind of showing you there where we're headed to. So I do think that we're going to bounce off of this line. This line is important only because that is sort of where the programmatic traders are going to try to hold their it's where they're going to hold on to their gains. So that's one of the things we want to look at carefully in going forward. But remember, this is a Friday. Typically on Fridays, we do see a lot more activity when it comes to when it comes to the when it comes to the market because of the expiration of options. So I want to kind of show you a chart on the spider. This is the world's largest ETF, and basically what's happened is it pulled down below this. And then it's moved back up. It moved above the 50-day, and it's pulled right to the 50-day, almost exactly at about 335. So currently, when this slide was taken, basically just a few minutes ago, it was at 334.91. So basically almost at 335. It's pulling back to the 50-day average, and that is significant because I do believe that because of this volume here, I do think we're going to firm up on this line. I don't think we're going to move back into a correction. I think we're going to bounce off of the 50-day, and we're starting to move higher probably on Monday. But right now it definitely is moved to the point where we have to be a little bit careful about putting on positions right now because that is, it definitely has moved to that level. Now, I also want to show you the QQQ. This is the largest, one of the largest ETFs in the world, and also it is a harbinger pretty much of how the market in general is trading. And basically, it is basically firmed up at essentially a very key level. That's 275. If you remember, I talked about that. Yesterday it was moving higher. It's then now pulled back. It pulled back right to the 275 level. So I do think we're going to close very, very close to that. Now, what will happen on Monday? I don't know, but I do think it may bounce off of this, but it's going to be short-lived, I believe, into the election, because there is a lot of uncertainty, and that is sort of what's being factored in here. I mean, there is uncertainty in the market. So that said, I do have a very interesting stock of the day that I just kind of want to put out there, and hopefully you can take a look at it. And this is PayPal. Everybody's heard of PayPal. I mean, I must have had a PayPal account for 20 years. I still think this company is phenomenal. It's one of the few fintechs that I really like. I don't really like the banks all that much. I'm pretty much I like the techs. I like some of the biotechs, and I like the fintechs. But this is the one that I like the best, and it is PayPal. Now, it is pulled back to the it's pulled back to the 50-day moving average. But as you can see, the 21-day is moved up right to that, and the 10-day is moved up right to that. So it's all kind of coalescing right here. I do think we're going to see a bounce with this come Monday or Tuesday next week. I do think it's going to start move higher, and I do believe that there possibly is a little bit of a trading window in here, going from about 192 or so, 193 up to about 212, and that might be very, very good trade. So this is one I think you should put on your list, PayPal, only because it's just superior in so many ways, and it does have some very, very good legs on it. So I'm not saying go out and buy it necessarily. You don't want to go with any more than a full position. By the way, what is a full position? Well, the way William O'Neill describes it, he is the founder of the IBD, the Investor Business Daily, also the founder of the CAN SLIM investing method. And in position trading, you should really only trade 8 positions at once. And these are kind of like, just think of it like a pizza. You just want to get that one piece of pizza. It's 8 pieces of pizza. You don't want to go into any stock any more than about 1 or 2, even if it's strong. So your initial buy should only be 1/8 of your portfolio balance at a time. So if you were to go into PayPal, say on Monday or Tuesday, if the market still is in a confirmed uptrend, and I do believe it will be, then you probably will only want to go in with 1 position or possibly half a position. So in order to figure out the 1 position in your portfolio, just divide it by 8, and that'll give you the number of approximately the number, and then look at the price of the shares, and that'll give you the number of shares that will be 1 full position. So that is the stock of the day, PayPal. All right. Well, that said, just wanted to kind of show you my current holdings as of today, and everything is down. Ouch. I don't like to see that. It's red everywhere. I'm down on Oracle. Well, not down that much, 62 cents. I'm down on Taiwan Semi. I'm down on Tesla, which actually may turn out for me to be pretty good, because I sold a 440 call. So I was going to have to give up my Tesla shares if the stock closed above 440. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Looks like I'm just going to keep that premium on my covered call. And that's why I like to trade a market like this. It's kind of a sideways market, is with those covered calls. Sorrento Therapeutics, same situation there. It's down a little bit, and I hope that I won't have to sell it. And then I've been going into Fastly as of late. It's been bouncing around, but I do think that there's some resistance right about 100 on Fastly. Hopefully that'll move through that. I do think that there's a very good chance that it will. So that's kind of just, for my, for full disclosure, those are my, that's what I'm doing in the small portfolio. So let's take a quick look at the small portfolio and see if, just kind of see what it looks like, kind of what's happening here. And again, we are in a confirmed uptrend. So this is my small portfolio. And by the way, this is available to everybody on on the website. Just go to the website www.tradingfloor and just sign up for the link, and we'll send you out a link to this portfolio. It's in Google Sheets, so it updates automatically. Basically, I'm mostly in cash right now. I'm still in cash, waiting for it to deploy it. Basically, I got one position in Oracle, one position in Taiwan Semi, and one position in Tesla. As you can see, this is the kind of the pizza idea that I was talking about. 8 positions. I have 3 stock positions, and I have 5 cash positions. So I'm down on everything today. Ouch! It's not looking. Hopefully, it'll turn around. I'm not down a lot. I'm down $1.46 on Tesla, because I bought it at basically at 419. It's pulled down to about 419.22. So I'm almost where I started. Can you believe it? I'm almost where I started just a week ago. So I took a round trip there. Oracle, the same thing. It's just kind of hovering right at this 60.50. That's the buy point. And then Taiwan Semi, it's off a bit, I'm afraid. But I do have conviction that it will get better. Also, I wanted to point out to you, I did put some stuff onto the watch list. Just kind of want to show you that. So let's see if we can move that up. There we go. Okay, I did put a few things on there. I did put on Pulte. Pulte's not quite in the buy zone, but it's just hovering right below that. I do think going forward with the low interest rates and the need for housing for so many of the millennials, they're buying houses, and Pulte is certainly a really good company. It's got excellent fundamentals. I did put that on the watch list, and it is I'm calculating the buy point on this is really easy, $48 a share. Currently, it's selling for $47.76, so it's right below that buy point. I think this one might, this is not going to be a rocket ship. Pulte isn't, but it should do very, very well. So I just kind of wanted to show you that on the small portfolio. So basically, the way to sign up for the small portfolio is super easy. When you go over to the website, and this is what the website looks like, folks, please sign up for the free trade alerts. We send those out, basically how I'm trading the market, and that's just first, last name, and email address. And of course, it's all free. You just subscribe there. And then if you go down here, kind of scroll down there, scroll, and you get to this link to the small portfolio. We'll send it right out to you. Of course, it's free too. First and last name and email. These are 2 separate things. That's why I had to have 2 separate boxes for this. So I hope you're not too concerned about that. So that's how that works. Also, if you want to learn how to trade stocks in the CanSlim method, and I do use that. And by the way, many of the top traders in the world, like David Ryan, use this. Then you can go right over here to the Learn to Trade bookshelf, and let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so basically these are the books that I kind of recommend to get started. The first one, of course, is How to Make Money in Stocks: A Winning System, Good Times Are Bad, and that's by William O'Neill. And I would really appreciate it if you did buy it off the website. It does help with the expenses here. I'm trying to give as much as I can away for free. So also, if you want to get started, this is like the Cliff Notes. This is the other one. This is by Matthew Galgani. Very, very good book. It basically is the O'Neill book, but it's put into action steps. So I highly recommend this one as too. If you're going to go intermediate, this is basically going to give you 2 books here. Not necessarily do this tomorrow, but something you might want to think about. In the sideways market like we're trading now, covered calls are a great way to go. I do a lot of these, and this book is a very good book. It's by it's an excellent book. You can just click on that and go right to it. Also, selling short. This is really not appropriate for right now because we're not in a downtrend, but Make Money Selling Stock Short. This is also a new book, very good. And then if you want to get some advanced kind of instruction, this one can't be beat. Sam Waterstein's book about trading. So just thought I would bring all that together to see everything that I am working with now. So let's get to the questions, and thanks for bearing with me. So let's see. Could you make wow, we could be all making good juice if it wasn't for yeah. I agree with you. Boy, Well, hey, you take what you can get. Donald Trump's tweets are kind of annoying, and I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you. But it's what it is. You got to play the field as it stands, and the same with the Musk. It's going along. The stock's moving up beautifully with Tesla, and then Musk will tweet out something. Oh, it's overvalued. Boom! It's like, whatever. You got to take unfortunately you got to take the good with the bad. So it's not necessarily definitely tradable. So it's just something that you just have to unfortunately get used to. With these guys, that's how they that's how they fly. So who knows what's gonna happen there. Anyways, thanks for that comment. So hey, thank you, man. Bought Tesla at 415, sold it off today at 430. Good for you. Hey, man, good for you. I do think there's going to be another round trip here, just for everyone out there. I think there's going to be a little bit of another opportunity. You did really smart by selling at 430. I think that was a great move. Okay, making $15 easy. That's nice. I think it's going to pull back a little bit. You probably can't. It's probably going to gap up on Monday. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know if you can buy it in after hours, but I do believe that we're going to see I'm going to see it pop right back up, because I do think we're in a trading range now for Tesla between about 405, 407 on up to maybe as high as 450, 440. I think that's it. And it's going to be moving back and forth until the election. I don't think it's anything change on that. It would be nice if, it would, but I think that there's money to be made there. So let me get up my charts here. And for everybody out there, I actually use, just so you'll know, I use MarketSmith charts. So these are very good charts that give you a lot of information that you just can't get anywhere else, all in one place. So that's why I love to use them on the show, because it kind of gives me a quick read on everything. Now, a lot of time, before I had to spend all the time in research. So this is kind of the cheat sheet for me. So I like that. Okay, so let's look. Buy Apple now. There's no buy point on Apple now. That's pretty much correct. So let's look at Apple, see if we can find anywhere to buy this. I still think, I don't know if you've heard this, but SoftBank, which is a huge, huge firm in Japan, they've been buying calls like there's no tomorrow on the FANG. So something's up. I think that after we get through this election, I think we're going to see the market move up. I'm very bullish, actually, right now. So, is there a place to buy on the daily chart? Well, I'm looking at the daily chart, and it's starting to make a move. It looks like. I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to tell. This is a down day. It's 213. I do think that we still have some opportunities in there. But one thing that does concern me a little bit about Apple is that it's definitely a great stock, but it's only got 5 out of the 9 buying criteria. So this does worry me a little bit. I do see a little bit. It's a little bit too far off its high. I want to see, before I buy this again, basically what I want to see is I want to see it move up. I want to see it move up to maybe this level, to about the 117 level. I think that's a critical level on Apple. I probably wouldn't buy it until it confirmed at about that 117 level. That seems to be the place that it wants to go. So, that's where I would say is the buy point. Is it a real buy point? No, it is not. Unfortunately, it's not, because, but I do think that would be the high off the recent rally. So let's see if I can kind of give you sort of an idea of how it's trading up. Okay, as you can see, this is the little line that I'm putting on here. This is it's sort of the floor of it. So what's happened, as we can see, it's pulled back right to this slope here at about 113. So I do believe it's very likely to go higher if it doesn't break this trend. And my guess is by the end of October, we ought to be seeing Apple trade at about 135. That's kind of where I'm seeing it. So me kind of put the pointer on there. I think it's going to be trading right about there. If you can kind of get that, let me see if I can put my line on it. About 135. So if you were to buy now here and it followed the rest of the trend, I think you could be up about 10 points by the end of the month. So I'm not bearish on Apple at all. I still like it. I just think it's run out. It just hasn't had as much gas as it did before with the other. All right, Tesla and Baba. Let's look at Tesla first, because as everybody knows, I am a Tesla bull, and I still am a Tesla bull even after all of this stuff. So what's happening? Wow. Well, I can show you. It's really it's eerie, but let's look at this line. It's eerie, but it seems to be following a pattern. And this is the thing: if you can figure out what the pattern is with Tesla, you could make some money. You see this little green line here? This is the 21-day exponential moving average. And as we can see, it's pulled right to that line and stopped, just dead in its tracks at 416. So where is this line? Well, this line's about 414. So I do believe come Monday morning, that we're probably going to reverse higher. Now, how higher? I don't know, but I think we're probably going to see it open. I think we're going to see Tesla open higher in the morning, and you could probably make a quick 20 points on that if you were to do that. So I'm kind of confident that we're going to see that. I do think that their numbers are going to be good from their operations in China. That has a lot to do with it, but it's not everything. So remember, I do think that it's pulling back to the 21-day exponential. I think it's going to bounce there. I don't think it's going to move back down to the 50-day, and that's this red line here. I think it's going to move to this green line. We've tested the 50-day. Now we're on this. Now we're moving right on this this 21 days. So if we looked at the slope on this 21 day, and I do think it's going to follow right up. Oops. Well, it helps if I have it helps if I could control my mouse there. Oops, there we go. Come on, baby. Well, anyways, it's going to move right up this line. Yeah, I blew it. I'm learning these drawing tools. There we go. It's going to move right up this line. So I do think that by the end of October, we may see it as high as 475 or 500 based on this slope. So that's kind of where I'm looking for Tesla to be. Now, let's look at Baba. Baba's a little bit more difficult, I think, to predict because of, we don't know what's going to happen with the election, and we don't know what's going to happen with the trade war. We did have sort of a gap up, and then we've pulled that back. This is a tough one to trade. No real clear place to buy this right now, and that's Baba. We were in a buy zone. It looks like it's pulled back. I wouldn't buy it at this level. I think it's too high. But I do think that if there is more of a pullback, and there may be on Monday, it looking kind of like it is, I think you could safely buy this at the pivot, which is, let me give you that, about 277. So we're about $10 above, I think, where we want to be buying it. So what I would do, see if you can pick up some Baba. I would set a limit order, good till cancel, because you may not get it, at about 277. I think if we hit, if we were at about 277, that's where the, that's where both the 21-day exponential moving averages and the 10-day moving averages, they're right on top of each other at about that 277 level for Baba. Baba is still very, very good. Let's look at the criteria. Excellent, 8 out of 9. Excellent. It only fails on only one thing, and that's earnings per share. So overall, 89. That's excellent. Let's look at the funds. A lot of funds are in this. This is sort of a proxy for the for the Chinese market, and we have increasing fund. Well, it's down a little bit. It's down about 24 funds, but 4,000 funds are in this. We have some very, very big Fidelity Contras in there. That's key. Anytime we see the Fidelity Contras in something, we know that it's probably pretty good. By the way, when stocks go up, they don't go up because of individual investors. It's typically the big boys, the funds coming into them. So that's one thing I do like about funds. 39% of Alibaba is owned by the funds, and that's a very good ratio. Anything above about 20% fund ownership on up to about 70 tends to portend well for the future, because those guys have big money and they invest it, And it's a good way to go. So with BABA, I would put in a limit if I was going to trade it. I'm not in currently, so this is not a recommendation. This is for educational purposes only, as they say. I would be in at with a limit order at about 277 on BABA. Let's look at Square. Square. This is from TikTok. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to get the camera working eventually, technically, so we can actually see the TikTok comments, because I love everyone on TikTok. Thank you so much for watching me on TikTok. By the way, if I'm showing the charts and graphs on this, but they're actually on the website on the YouTube. So youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and this is episode number 144. Yeah, 144, I guess. 144 is on YouTube, so you can see all the charts and graphs that I'm doing. So let's look at Square. Square is also, of the two Jack Dorsey companies, one of course being Twitter and the other one being Square. I think that Square really is the better of the two, even though Twitter gets all the press and everything. I think it's Square that's going to make all the money. Very nice pattern here. Let's see on a weekly chart if we've got any kind of entry into this. Again, this is a tough one to buy. It's basically just moving right up the 21-day moving average. If we were to buy it at the 21-day, we would have to buy it basically at 156. It's currently at 169. So at this level, I probably would not be a buyer at this level. Not because Square's bad. I love Square, but I think I want to see it pull back to the 21-day line and bounce on that. That's where I could buy it. There's no other base patterns really to buy this on, unfortunately. Now let's look at the checklist. It's excellent. 7 out of 9. That's definitely a pass in my book. 6 out of 9 is what I look for minimum. 7 out of 9 is excellent. Let's look at the funds in this one. Wow, look at that. 1333. That's excellent. Lots of funds there. We have basically 48% of Square, which is owned by the fund. So that's a very good thing. If we're investing like the funds are, if we're kind of following along like the minnow and the whales being the funds, then I think we're going to have a lot of support on it. So I do like this. I do like this chart, and 98 relative strength. That's pretty good. And even in this down market. So I do think you can buy this. I don't want to buy it at the current level. I think it's a little bit too high. I want to see it pull back to about 157. I'd probably be a buyer at 157 on Square. So very, very good stock. Also excellent. Thoughts on Square? Okay, I think thoughts on Net. So let's look at Net here. This is a question from so let's look at Net. See what we've got. Yeah, this is Cloudflare. This is a terrific stock. Wow. This and Fastly, two very excellent stocks. Cloudflare, for everyone that doesn't know, is essentially a security company that sort of powers the at-home working environment. I think it's a terrific company, and it is, it's a tough, normally it's tough to buy these IPOs because you don't want to buy them out of the box, because let me just show you. This is typically how it works. It'll trade up and then boom, it'll trade down. This is what they call the IPO base. And then once it gets on board with all the analysts, it just starts trading up. And as you can see, it's just moved right up this 50-day line. So very, very good. It is in a bit of a consolidation right now. There is a buy point on it. So would I buy it right at this level? No, I would wait for a second stage consolidation. On this one, I think you want to buy it if it goes above 45.28 on good volume, and that's we check the volume here. So on Cloudflare, I have I like this a lot. 95 relative strength. Let's look at the Bragg criteria. Checklist, excellent. Funds, excellent. Very, very nice funds. 52% in there. So see why, everybody asks me, well, why would you buy it at, why would you wait until it was 45.28 when it's 41.76 now? Why would you buy it? Why would you buy it higher rather than lower? Well, interesting thing in the stock market, it makes sense to buy at or near its high. And right now, it's got a second stage consolidation based on the chart pattern that says that the buy point is about 45.28. So this is where you want to probably buy it. So let it move up to that number, and if it moves up on nice volume, you want to make sure that it's nice volume. Then I think you can do a buy on this one. Right now, this is a watch list, and I probably am going to put this on my watch list as a watch list. It's not quite in the buy zone, but it's getting there. So very good call on this. I really like Cloudflare. It's one of my favorites, and thank you for bringing it up. All right, and thoughts on Qualcomm. I'll do that in just a second. I'm going to take some question from the Peter Crowd. No, from YouTube. Thank you for watching me on YouTube, by the way. Should I sell Tesla? Depends on where you bought it, but I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't sell it, and the reason I wouldn't sell it is because I believe Tesla is likely to move up after Monday. Say, well, Jim, how do you know that? How do you know that? Well, I don't, because I can't read minds. I wish I could. That would be great. But if I'm looking at the daily chart, and I'm going to show this to you, if I'm looking at the daily chart, I'm kind of looking at what's happening with this 21-day exponential moving average. And looky. It's trading on this average. It pulled down to this level, and it's going to bounce here. Now, how high will it bounce? Well, how high can a cat bounce? I don't know. Dead cat bounce? No, that's not true. This is not a cat. I do believe that it's going to move higher, and it may move higher by Monday. So this is the 21-day exponential moving average on this is about 414.90. So I do believe it's going to move higher than that on Monday. Now let's see if we're still okay with the checklist. The checklist is getting a little ragged here, only 6 out of the 9, but it still makes my criteria for that. Do we have a good enough fund ownership? Yes, we have increasing fund ownership. We now have about 39% of Tesla stock owned by funds. That's very bullish. And I still think with a relative strength of 99, I don't think I'd be a seller at this point. Just depends on where you bought it, of course. But I probably would not be a seller of Tesla right now. I'm not a seller of Tesla, even though I did sell. I have an expiring option, but I'm going to sell that option again. So I really, it's a cover call. I actually own the underlying stock, and then I sell out the call. So it's called the cover call. I don't want to sell. I want to keep Tesla. So I'm going to be keeping Tesla for a while. Just my point. Buy point on Baba. Well, Baba, of course, Alibaba, as everybody knows, is sort of a proxy for the Chinese market. So it's been having trouble as of late. The buy point on Alibaba, so let me give you an exact buy point, because I can do that actually on this. The exact buy point on Alibaba currently is 268, and it's trading for 288. So it's a little bit extended from that. Now, can you buy Alibaba at 268 on a consolidation base? Probably not. Probably not. And the reason you probably can't do that is because the 21-day exponential moving average has moved higher than that. So I think that there is a way to buy this. I want to see this pull back to about 277. When it bounces off that 277 line, that's the 21-day exponential moving average. That's when I would buy it. And basically that would make sense because, as you can see from this little chart here, there is a blue zone here. This is the pivot here at about 268. And then if you add 5%, this is the buy zone. So I don't want to buy it extended at this point. Right now, it's extended. I want to see it come back down probably to about the 278 level. And I want to see it bounce off of that 21-day exponential. So if it does, then it's probably a buy. It's still pretty good. Let's look at the criteria for buying it, because checklists are important. It basically, the only thing it fails on is earnings per share. So I am very confident that this is it's in the ascendancy right now. Believe it or not. Let's look at the funds. Well, we're down a little bit on the funds, about 24 less than we had last in March, but we're still very, very strong in this. Now, let's look at the industry and sector. It's excellent. It's in the top. I like to be buying stocks that are in the top percentiles. Now, there's 197 different industry ranks, industry segments. This is number 25. So I like to do that. It's sort of Pareto's law. If I buy the stocks that are in the top 20% of the sectors, I have a higher likelihood of it being successful. So I'm pretty bullish on Alibaba. I want to see it pull back to about 277 though before I buy it. That's, I think, more of a realistic buy point. The actual real buy point is 268, but I think you could buy it at 277 based on the 21-day exponential moving average. So thank you very, very much for that question. What is the best time to sell cover calls? In the morning or night? Well, the best time to sell cover calls, in my opinion, is when you get the most for them. Well, how do you know that? Well, there's a little site out there that you can look at, and it's totally free, by the way. I'm going to show you this site. It's the NASDAQ site. And basically, this is kind of how I look to possibly sell a covered call. It's called the option chain. I'm sure you're familiar with it. And I'll just give you show you as it appears. So here we go. There we go. And there's up on the screen. So this is sort of what it looks like. And this is at is the old.nasdaq. Anyways, it's on the NASDAQ. So what does this do? Well, it has a lot of advertising, of course. We've got to support them somehow, but it shows you the option chain. So if we're looking for the best thing to possibly buy, what I do is I like to go out here, maybe a month or so. I'm looking at November for AMD calls. And then what I do is I go and I look to see what is the most active. Okay, so I'm going to go up here, and hopefully if I get it right, there we go. And I look at the most actives, and I hit that most actives. And that's going to give me what calls are the most active currently being traded on AMD. So this is very helpful. So I can kind of look to see, wow, okay, there is a change. It's looking good. For some reason, the January 21st, 2022 call, this is a long call, this is a leap, is very active at $14. So I'm looking at this one. This helps me screen them though. And it's all free. All you have to do is go to nasdaq.com to see that. So definitely I like to see return on the call, typically in a month, of at least 2%, possibly more. So I'll get into that more, but it just depends on when they're paying the most. And that's really what I'm looking for. So what is a good buy point for Apple? Good question. With Apple, there isn't really a solid buy point. The reason is because it just hasn't had in a while. It hasn't had what they call a base pattern. So I'm going to kind of show you where the last one was. There really hasn't been a base pattern on Apple in a while. So it's a little bit difficult in that there's no real clear buy point, but you can buy it at the 21-day, at the 50-day moving average. And that's probably the best place to buy it. It's pulled a little bit above that. I do think you could buy this at about 112, 50 to up to about 114. It's right in 13. So it's really kind of in a buy range right now. What I think we want to look at is the potential for that. So let's, by just looking at the trend, kind of where it's going to be headed. I do think it's headed in about that slope. This is the 21, the 50-day moving average. So I think that if it maintains this potential slope by the end of the year, I think we're looking at possibly as high as 200. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that by the end of the next month, we could be back here on this line, and we could be as high as 140. So that's kind of my take on it. No real good, but not a primary buy point on Apple, but you could buy it on the 50-day moving average at about 114, I would say. So that would be where I would possibly look at. So it's well priced right now. The biggest issue with Apple, of course, is how well their product announcement is going to come with the 5G phone. I think it's going to be big. I think a lot of people are going to buy it. But the problem is it's hard. It's getting harder and harder to move Apple because it is such a big company and so many people own it. So even though if they do terrific, it's harder to move it than a smaller cap stock. It's a monster, and it's still really, really good. Should we wait to buy news? You know what I do? here's the thing. This is just tactical. I typically don't like to buy positions on Friday, and the reason I don't is, and don't enter new positions on Friday. And the reason I don't is because this is when options expire. They always expire on Fridays. So at least on the weeklies. So you don't want to, you don't really, if you have if there's an option expiration, you probably want to be a little bit careful about buying on that day. So I think it's good to possibly wait into Monday, and let's see how it opens. Let's, with this Corona thing, let's see how it opens, on Monday, and probably one of the better times to buy is right about lunchtime in New York for some reason. I don't know. It seems like the price is back off later, but that's just anecdotal. I don't have any real hard facts on that. But thank you. That's good. I think you should be really a little bit careful. Tesla's killing it, but drops it. Why? Why is that true? Okay, well, this is a great question. This is a really great question. The question is, what moves stocks? Well, we've all learned in our economics classes that, you look at the fundamentals and wow, it's so great and all that stuff. Well, I'm here to tell you, and you may disagree with me. I had an argument with my lawyer about this, because he's like, well, it's got to have the fundamentals and all that stuff. You know what? No. It's on the technicals. The reason it's pulling back is because of the way it's technically trading in the market. It's pulling back because it's pulling back to the it's pulling back to the averages, and that's the reason why. Now, do I think that there's going to be a bounce? You betcha I do, because I don't think this thing is going to collapse. I think it's just going to pull back to the 21-day, and then it's going to move back up. I want to show you the chart just so you can see that. You think, God, why? How do you know that? Well, the reason I know that is because I'm looking at how Tesla has been trading. It moves up the 21-day line, and then periodically it pulls back to the 50-day moving average. This red line here, and that's exactly what it did here. And it did this. It actually pulled below this twice. So potentially it could pull back again to this 50-day. I don't think that's going to happen based on the fact that we just had a major pullback. I think instead it's going to reverse off of this 21-day. So I do believe that in the morning it's going to trade from about on Monday. I think it may open at about 405, 407, and then it probably might trade as high as 430 on Monday. So I wouldn't be a seller of Tesla. It's just, you just need to get into sync with the rhythms on it, and you can do that. And that's what I do. I try to, as it pulls back to the 50-day moving average or the 21-day exponential, that's when I try to buy it. And then as it moves above that, then I try to sell it. So it's kind of you need to kind of get into the groove on it. You need to get in a groove. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's because the technical. This is how it's technically trading. So, what is the buy point on Twitter? Well, I don't know offhand because I haven't been trading it. TWTR I believe is a symbol. So yeah, there we go. Twitter. What's the buy point on this? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Let's see if I can find a buy point for it. The actual last buy point on this, believe it or not, was stage 1 cup with handle at 40.92. Well, that was a while ago, and then now it's trading at 46.10. Well, that's technically the last buy point, but it's so long ago that you really can't consider it. Now, where else could you buy it if you really liked it? Well, I think that is based on the place you could buy this if it pulled back to the 21-day exponential moving average, which is 43.78. Now, will it pull back there? It's looking pretty strong today. I think it might, though. I think on Monday it might. So let's look at the criteria. Let's see if we're still a winner chicken dinner. Well, we've got 43% funds. That's good. The checklist, though, is a little bit light, but it's still 6 out of 9. So I definitely think that's good. Let's see how the options are trading. Well, the options, they are sort of big. The options are, but you know what this is telling me? The options, they're not killer options. So this is telling me that, whereas a lot of people are investing in this, it's cooling a little bit on Twitter. Twitter seems to make all the headlines and none of the money, and Square seems to make none of the headlines and all of the money. So that's a buy point on this. I would buy this potentially, and I'm not saying I'm going to buy this at about 44. It's at 46, so you could buy it if it pulled back to the 21-day exponential moving average. So it's not necessarily a bad time to buy it, but I just don't like buying off of. I like buying off of proper buy points. There's no real proper buy point right now on Twitter, unfortunately. The last one basically was months ago, and it was months ago. So there's not really, you can buy this, but it's, what I'm saying is a little bit more risky. It's really more risky to buy it at this point. What if Trump's corona gets serious? Then what? Well, if he does, let's say he were to die. I mean, I don't wish that on anybody, but it could happen. I mean, presidents literally have died in office. It would depend on when he died. If he died after the election, well, it's whoever won the election. And of course, if he dies before the election, it would be Pence. Now, I'm not saying he's going to die, so please don't repeat that. I don't want to get out there and say that, but I don't know. So the question, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a wrench, a little bit of monkey wrench, because a lot of people, it's not that people in the stock market prefer one party or the others. They do that individually, but it's the continuation. So if we continue, people in the stock market want consistency, and that's been, that's sort of been one of the things. So I do think, that, this is going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in it. It's going to make the market more volatile. So this is why we got to be a little bit more careful coming into this election, and we're just very close, not to put on big positions and put our stop losses up, because, literally anything could happen on up to the election day, and then maybe even afterwards, because we don't even know what the results are probably going to be. So I don't have any inside information on this, but it looks as if, this one might be a nail biter. It may not be. I mean, it may be over very early. I doubt it, but it probably. So I think we're going to see more volatility because of that. And so that's where you got to be a little bit more careful now that this is an issue. And also the question is, are they going to pass the stimulus bill? This is a serious issue. I'm more concerned about this than the COVID diagnosis, because this affects the travel and leisure business, and it's a huge business. I mean, here in Dallas, we have about 18,000 people working for American Airlines that probably are going to get furloughed, at least for a week and maybe for longer. There just simply isn't the demand, and this is very serious. This could push the recovery back down. So I am a little bit concerned about that as well. So my take on that. So let's see if we can get any other. Hey, what's up with high HY? I don't know. Or let's look at RTK. This is I can if you have the symbol, that really helps me, because I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know every stock out there. RTK, I don't know what RTK. I'm trying to get RTK as a symbol. RTK. Let's see what this one. No, I don't see that as a symbol. So sorry about that. What should I buy today? Well, Friday's probably not the very best day to buy in a market that is selling off. I just don't think a Friday necessarily is the best day, because there's options expiration. So my opinion. What about, this is interesting. Beyond Meat and Workhorse. Thanks, Mohammed. I appreciate that. Those are both very interesting stocks. So let's look at Workhorse first. I do like the Workhorse story, because this is a story stock, as they say in the business. Story stock being it has a very, very good story. Well, it's pulled back, but I still like this. If they do get the order for electric vehicles, I think from UPS or Amazon. I think it's UPS that may order from this. I believe that they're in Ohio, which is great. It's truly the manufacturing heartland of this country. I think we tend to downplay the importance of industries in Ohio. And I think if there's an uptick there, that's where it's going to start in the market. But the last buy point on this on a first stage consolidation was 22.90. It's at 23.62. This is really right in the buy zone. This is right in the buy zone right now. Workhorse is, and let's see if I would even consider it. I probably would. It's got the minimum requirement on the checklist, so it's 6 out of 9. That's pretty good. Let's look at the funds. We are getting some fund interest here. I do believe that Workhorse is a far different company than Nikola. Nikola was it wasn't, I wouldn't say fraud, but it was a vaporware company. Okay. Back in the day, I used to be in the Valley, in Silicon Valley, and we used to have these companies called vaporware companies. I think that's why PowerPoint was invented, so that we could show the venture capitalists this great piece of software that was going to work, and it was going to work this way. And we would do a simulation. Well, that's the thing I think Nikola was. It was a simulation of a real company, but not a real company. Workhorse, on the other hand, is a real company. They really make things, and they're in a great sector, which is the medium duty truck market, because these electric trucks are going to be very big for medium duty trucks, for city trucks. I think they're just going to be great. One of the major advantages, of course, of electric trucks are the maintenance. The maintenance is much lower, and the fuel costs are much lower. So, because electricity actually is much lower in expense, so that's a win-win. So I really like this area. I like the sector. It is early. There's only 13% funds here, but we're starting to see some interest. Of course, we're pre-revenue. We're pre-revenue here, but I'm seeing a lot of activity. There's this, you see where this little Easter egg is here? It says largest volume since base. Well, that's pretty exciting. Now what isn't exciting is that we've had a sell-off. Okay. These are also a lot of selling activity. That's why this is pulling down. But I do think I want to see, before I buy this, I want to see some support at this pivot, which is basically 22.90. So let's see if we get some support on this pivot on Monday or Tuesday. But I like this stock. I will be honest with you. I like this stock. I think it may turn the corner. Now, would I take and put more than one full position in it? No, I would probably only do a half position on this. But this is setting up very nicely, and I'm pretty, I'm looking at the stock, and I think it's got it's looking pretty good. Now, Beyond Meat is really a phenomenon too. I initially thought, well, gosh, this, again. And this is the hardest thing to do if you're a technical guy like I am, because you let your biases get in there, and you just can't do that. And I was looking at Beyond Meat, and it's like, well, gosh, they're going to get all this competition from all these people, because Cargill and these big ass companies, they're gonna come in and they're going to eat Beyond Meat's lunch. Well, that certainly hasn't happened, And if you look at the chart, it's basically telling you that. So let's look at Beyond Meat. It's looking like they have a very nice franchise. So it's real. We're finally in a point where we can really buy this. With IPOs, it's really tough to buy them, that much earlier. Now it basically has had some seasoning. It's starting to look good. It initially just shot up, and then it's been doing nothing. But now it's a relative strength. So we do have a buy point on this right now, and it's a stage 1 cup. This is the first real true buy point that we've had on Beyond Meat at 167.16. So I'm going to put that out there on the thing. BYND, the buy point on this one is equal, and this is a stage 1. So this is the best kind of buy point. That's a stage 1 cup, which is, this is a very good one. 167.16 is the buy point. 167.16. So I'll put that out there to everyone on the chat. By the way, if you are looking on TikTok and you want to see everything I'm doing, and also look at the chat that's going on, all you do is jump on over to YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas34, and please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. That helps me a lot. I do appreciate it. I know that everyone else on every other site says like and subscribe, and I probably but it helps it keep it, so it helps with the expenses. So I do appreciate that. Also, if you want to get on the Action Trade Alerts and you're on TikTok, super easy to do. Just go to my profile, hit the link, and you'll be taken directly to the sign up page, and it's all free. So that's a good thing too. Thanks for that. Thanks for my shameless plug there. Okay. So buy point on Tesla. Buy point on Tesla, as I've been saying, I think Tesla is going to pull back. Probably it's probably, I don't know. I think it's, it's obviously pulling back now. I think it may pull back. It may open. It'll probably open about 405, 407 on Monday. I do think it's going to bounce. And so that's where I would like to be getting into it. I may be a buyer on Monday, just not sure right now. I really pay. Thank you. I wish I was as famous and good looking as Jim Cramer. I'm not famous and I'm not that good looking, but I really appreciate that. Wow. That is a nice thing to say. Super. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Oh gosh. Are you only able to look up stocks? Well, unfortunately, right now, I am sort of limited in terms of my feed. I have a live feed from the BATS or the BATS. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It's an exchange actually in Kansas City, and it's very good. It's super duper real time, and that's where I have my direct feed. For the other exchanges like the Toronto and some of the foreign exchanges like like the Singapore the Singapore exchange, I don't, unfortunately, right now. I'm working on that because hopefully after this COVID thing, I want to do a tour. I really like going to Asia. I typically try to go every year, and give hopefully some talks when I'm over in Bangkok or in some of the other places in Asia like Manila, which I want to go to after this COVID thing. I can't do it really right now because the COVID thing is happening, but I'm looking into that, and I really appreciate that. I know that there's some people, a lot of people outside the U.S. that are looking, and I really appreciate that. And by the way, one of the things though, even if you're outside the U.S., you can definitely trade. You can still trade American stocks. One of the advantages of American stocks is it's very liquid. It's not that not that it's anything better or worse. It's just that American stocks are very liquid, so that you can get in and out of positions. And it is a little bit tough. I mean, I have a lot of people that watch me in Canada. You do have to do that conversion, but Google Sheets. I recommend Google Sheets because it'll update that. It'll give you kind of an idea where you're coming from. So very good. All right. Otherwise, would love to see your opinions on MCPHY. Let's see if I can bring that up on my software. MCPHY. Gosh, no, I can't. Oh, I wish I could. I can't give you that, unfortunately. Ouch. Sorry about that. I can't at this time. I'm going to try to get better on this, but I appreciate I appreciate you bringing that up to me, because I definitely will try to put that on the punch list for getting foreign stocks, because there's some great stocks that you can trade on foreign exchanges. I don't have access to the tape on them. That's the main thing. Give me a few day trades. If you make money, I will Venmo you the cash. Start with 20K for. Well, sure. I mean, I could probably give you some day trades. The thing about day trades, here's what I do on the day trades. I want to see everyone succeed, because learning how to trade the stocks changed my life. I mean, I went to school and I did all that stuff, but by learning how to trade stocks, I was able to earn an income when I didn't have a job and stuff like that. And so, not that I'm super altruistic. It's just that I was taught about 20 years ago, when the IBD was starting, about the IBD, about the canceling method by a gentleman named David Howard Byron, who unfortunately has died. But he taught me how to do spreads. He taught me how to do it. It changed my life, and hopefully I can help other people kind of go on, start the journey that I'm going. It's a lot easier now than it used to be. I know that everyone says that, and but it's really true. I mean, some of the tools now are just fabulous. You're not if you follow these canceling methods, if you do this, you're not at a huge disadvantage like you used to be against the traders on Wall Street. Wall Street doesn't really exist. It's in the cyber. It's in the cloud, and you as a small trader with a laptop, and information. You could trade absolutely as well as some of the biggest traders on Wall Street. I'm just telling you this because it's true. The most important thing is getting the right mindset, getting the right energy, getting the right look at the market, and that's totally doable. All you need today is an account, an internet connection, and the willingness to learn, and you can do very, very well. So that's my little plug on that. That's my little plug on that. So here we go. Let's see. What is your specialty, boss? Options or stocks? I do both, actually. There's several different styles of trading that I try to I try to go with. When the market is sideways like this, I do a hybrid strategy. I do a lot of covered calls in a sideways market like this. This is a hybrid strategy where I'm buying the underlying stock and I'm selling that option to limit my risk. Now, when the market is in a confirmed uptrend, as we're turning, it's sort of moving to the confirmed uptrend. Then I am using lots of options, because options allow you to do a lot of leverage. Now, when the market turns down, I'm actually doing shorts. I'm shorting stock. And why? Because that works best in that typical environment. So the way I look at it, first of all, is I look to see what the direction is, the main direction in the market is, and I adjust my style based on that. Now, do I do options? Absolutely. And I haven't been putting out enough trade alerts on covered, bull call spreads, those kind of things, which I think are tremendous. Also, we're coming up on earnings. I'm going to try to be better about putting out trades around earnings calls that are relatively low risk and that a lot of people can benefit from. So thank you. I mostly do stocks right now just because of the way the market is, but I do both, and you can make money doing both. So that's not really a great answer, but it's the answer I've got anyways. What do you think about Square? I love Square. I was looking at the chart earlier of Jack Dorsey's companies. Square is by far the best. Twitter gets all the headlines and none of the money, and Square gets all of the money and none of the headlines. So I like Square better, to be honest, than Twitter, the other Jack Dorsey company. There we go. Okay. Where is the buy point? There isn't really the last real buy point on it was at 58.20 on a first stage cup. But I don't think you can buy that. It's a little bit long since that was back in January, so we really can't use that, unfortunately. I think the only place you can really buy it at this point is a pullback to the 21 exponential, and that's 157.76, and it's currently at 169. So I want to see it pull back to that 21 day and then bounce. That's where I want to see it. I like the company a lot. We have increasing fund sponsorship. I really like that. Fidelity Contra is in it. I really like that. That's one of the best funds out there. That's kind of the whale that you're looking for. The checklist is strong. 7 out of 9. That's excellent. And the ownership is great. Let's look at the options real quick just to see. And we've got very nice, you see 165. So we're looking at the 170 buy. So basically the market is telling us, based on this, that we are expected to see a approximately a $16 increase from where we are currently towards the end of the year. So I think that that's telling us very, 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 very careful, very, very good that this is a potentially very good hold into the end of the year. So I like Square a lot. It looks like, based on the options, based on the trend, we're looking at possibly a price target here by the end of the year. I'm looking at about 185, 186, maybe 190 for Square into the end of the year, if everything holds. And it looks kind of like it is. There's a lot of uncertainty, of course, with the election. Well, I have taken up a whole hour of your time, and I thank you so much for coming by and taking a look. Technical glitches included. I will be back on 2:30 on Monday. So till then, happy trading. Be careful. Wear that mask, because it seems like we're back into it. So till then, happy trading, and please sign up for the action trade alerts and like me on YouTube if you look on there. And I will see you on Monday.